Well, anyways, man, this video today we're gonna check out 5 terrifying disasters that could destroy us at any moment. Think about that for a minute. Any moment. All right. Anyways, before we get into the video, guys need the channel, become part of that family by hitting that subscribe button down below, turn that post notifications bell on, and yeah, let's get into the damn video, man.
In 2030, Valencia, Barcelona, Marseille, Rome, Athens, Istanbul, and many other coastal cities in Europe will be hit by a giant tsunami, says Bernardo Aliaga, leading oceanographer at UNESCO. And the probability of such a catastrophe is 100%. UN experts
so it
have
will
concluded
happen.
that the number of various catastrophes on our planet is increasing threefold every 10 years. And this means that by 2030, 560 cataclysms will occur on Earth annually. That is 1.5 disasters per day. In this video, you'll find out why is this the most dangerous decade for life on our planet, how to get into a tropical storm without leaving your home, and more importantly, what cataclysms could destroy us tomorrow. On one of the Canary Islands, experts are monitoring an unstable volcano called Cumbre Vieja, which directly threatens most of the Atlantic basin. Usually, the average volcanic eruption lasts about a week and a half, but Cumbre Vieja likes long performances. Even its shortest eruption, dated 1971, lasted 25 days. Usually, the ejections of magma and hot gases of this volcano take about 3 months. For example, some saved chronicles state that in 1585, Cumbre Vieja was continuously active for 84 days. However, now the situation is even more confusing. It seems that the old volcano is producing a new vent near the village of Cascadia on the same island. This means that there's not much space for accumulated magma, and it's looking for some new ways to get to the surface. Ana Crespo Blanc, a professor of geodynamics.
So this will happen for sure. The magma gotta go somewhere, right? It has to go somewhere. Thank God I don't live anywhere near these places. Let me know down below. Any of you guys live near these places? If you guys actually visit some of these places, put in the comments down below. Let me know.
Dynamics at the University of Granada suggests that in this case, the eruption could last even longer, although the likelihood of large magma fountains will be significantly reduced. Instead, lava will slowly seep through several crevices for many months, and we should fear this even more than a powerful and short-term eruption. In this case, a considerable number of people will have to be evacuated, and locals won't be able to return to their homes for quite a long time. First, they need to wait until the ground cools down and stabilizes. Then they have to measure the level of accumulated toxic substances throughout the island. Volcanic dust contains extremely high levels of chlorine, fluorine, and phosphorus. They can accumulate in the human body and lead to serious diseases. For example, a severe form of pneumoconiosis, when a person's lungs are literally corroded with foreign particles. But where can we place thousands of people for some time while all the necessary procedures are being conducted? And would it be safer somewhere else? The Helena Slump is located on the Big Hawaii Island. Once upon a time, it was
this was a little closer to us.
Volcano, and now it threatens humanity not with an endless eruption, but a mega tsunami. 12,000 kilometers of its rock are unstable and can collapse into the Pacific Ocean at any moment. This will create a huge wave that will reach the west coast of North America, flooding all coastal communities. Scientists claim that 120,000 years ago, a similar catastrophe had already occurred at the same place, and the collapse caused a wave up to 400 meters high. If something like this happens now, even the inhabitants of the central parts of the continents won't be able to hide.
So this is something that can hit us. Hit me.
Island states, along with coastal cities, could go underwater forever. In our time, the Helena slump also managed to get noticed. Although the tsunami of 1975 was much less impressive, it managed to reach the coast of California and destroy many buildings. Now, any shock in the tectonically active zone can provoke a catastrophe. Therefore, in order not to repeat the fate of Atlantis in the near future, not just the inhabitants of coastal European cities need to reflect on this issue, as UNESCO suggests, but also a good half of the entire globe's population. In fact, the Helena slump is a whole system of tectonic features, the specifics of most of which we still have no idea about. For example, flat faults called decollements aren't visible on the surface. However, such a fault caused an earthquake of magnitude 6.9 on May 4th, 2018. And if a tsunami usually affects only coastal areas, the consequences of an earthquake can extend for tens of kilometers. In that case, don't you think we should be afraid of them?
What plans do we have though? Like, what plans are the government doing to protect people? I feel like if something like this happens, ain't nobody protecting us, man. If you ain't got no money, even us poor people, we can't afford to like go to underground bunkers or anything. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. They're gonna let us all die. Telling you.
The Toba volcano is a forgotten Indonesian monster. However, it could lead to the worst catastrophe in the history of mankind. And the scariest part is that we won't know about the impending disaster until the very last moment. But when a tremendous amount of lava is released, it'll lead not only to a large tsunami, but also an earthquake, which may well reach a magnitude of 9. The island itself may completely go underwater, pushing the lithospheric plates with such force that people will feel it in the farthest corners of our entire planet. Right now, magma is imperceptibly accumulating in a huge underground basin right under the lake, which was the mouth of a volcano thousands of years ago. But we can determine the quantity of magma using only the zircon dating method. To do this, scientists collect zirconium, tiny crystals of volcanic rocks, and measure the levels of uranium and lead contained in them. This method allows us to learn only approximate data with a significant delay. Therefore, the date of a massive disaster can be predicted by no one. But wait, apart from
the way they set that up can be predicted by no one. Bro, the way this guy set that up, that I thought he was gonna say, yeah, we can predict when it's gonna explode or something. But no, that makes it even more scary. Like, we can't predict this stuff.
We have other things to worry about. For example, the Cascadia subduction zone. It runs all along California. Basically, the locals live on a powder keg, always waiting for a new disaster. This area is a subduction zone, that is, a place where one tectonic plate slides under another. Usually, the movement occurs gradually, a few centimeters in a couple of years. But in this zone, the shift can be abrupt and fatally dangerous. In 1700, this fault line caused an earthquake of magnitude 9.2. That time, Vancouver Island and the entire territory of California suffered the most. And now, scientists are sure that the next earthquake will happen. It's only a matter of time. Chris Goldfinger, a professor of geology and geophysics at the University of Oregon, claims that the Cascadia subduction zone could trigger other dangerous areas. For example, fault systems of the San Andreas, San Gabriel, and San Jacinto. They caused horrible earthquakes in San Francisco in 1906 and in Loma Prieta in 1989. If these monsters join their forces, humanity will have very little chance of resisting it in any way. According to preliminary estimates, at least 1 million people will be forced to leave their homes forever. But what if the chain reaction spreads even further?
Now they're scaring us, man. Now they're scaring me.
What do you think about a huge tsunami in the North Sea? It sounds rather unusual because this zone has always been considered calm. But about 600,000 years ago, when Earth was entering another era, the sea level rose significantly. This eventually led to a massive landslide. An ice wall 300 kilometers long descended into the sea all at once, and this is approximately the distance from the center of New York to Washington, D.C. The 6-meter tsunami caused by that event reached the coast of Scotland, and now we have a good chance of seeing a repeat of such a huge event. Due to human-induced climate change, the sea level is rising again. If serious measures are not taken soon, the inhabitants of the Scandinavian countries, the UK, Iceland, and Greenland will all have a hard time. But the chain reaction
they'll be gone.
will be
That's it, simple, they'll be gone.
Further climate change will lead to the fact that tropical hurricanes and typhoons will spread to mid-latitude regions, and this is where most of the world's population lives. A group of scientists from Yale University recently came to these conclusions.
See, this is why I am glad I don't live near no body of water, okay? I live far away from all the body of waters. I live like in the central Canada, okay? I am so glad that I don't really got to worry about this yet, but who knows?
In their article published in the Nature Geoscience journal, subtropical storm Alpha, which hit Portugal in 2020, and this year's Hurricane Henri in Connecticut are the first harbingers of larger catastrophes. According to Joshua Studholm, a physicist in Yale's Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences, humanity's main problem will be the inability to predict the next disasters. We just don't have the necessary models and programs to predict the behavior of tropical typhoons in such atypical conditions. While scientists still leave a time gap of 200 years for a disaster in the Cascadia subduction zone, other disasters, such as the eruption of the Toba volcano, may well happen tomorrow. However, as you've already understood, our forecasting methods are still far from perfect. And what if a deadly chain reaction really starts and all the cataclysms happen overnight? Do you have any idea where you would hide?
2012? That's from the movie 2012, right? That is some scary stuff right there, man. Honestly, that is some scary stuff right there. All right, make sure you guys like and subscribe.